Welcome back to Living Local. Jason Robert Brown's Songs for a New World weaves together a collection of diverse songs, each telling a unique story. And the musical opens at the Blackbox Theater this weekend. Let's take a look. And here to tell us all about it is Mitch Carter, the music director for Songs for New World. Hey, man, they sound great.
Yeah, they're a blast to work with, and they're doing great work out there. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for being here. It's a pleasure to finally meet you after seeing so much of your work over the years. So let's talk about this show, because it's unique in that it's a song cycle. So let's talk about that aspect and what viewers can kind of expect.
Certainly. That's something that really threw me off the first time I was exposed to the show, 4 or 5 years ago. And if you're coming in looking for a consistent plot line with characters that come back, you're not going to see that. And it's such a beautiful show, but it can throw you off your game if you're not prepared for it. So what it is each song is its own little vignette. It's its own little story that stands on its own. Each time you see one of the actors come out on stage, they're probably a different character from who they were before. And then they're all unified by this greater theme. And that theme, of course, is the opening number states it very, very explicitly. It's about one moment. You have to make a decision. You have to choose this or that, A or B, and you understand that this decision has a ton of gravity behind it. And so you have to make that decision carefully, and you follow each one of these characters as they make that decision.
Yeah, and I discovered this show in college. Well, I guess it was the end of my high school career, but it was so important, that opening number, man, as you were embarking on some kind of life journey.
Oh yeah.
Man, that is right there. And like you said, there's a lesson in each song and something kind of for every age. It kind of is cross-generational.
Yeah, it has some really some themes that just resonate for anybody and everybody, no matter what season of life you are in. I mean, it talks about relationships and love. It talks about parenthood. There's death and loss and grief. There's struggling to be seen by partners and other people that you want to see you. And in each one of these little stories, you get to relate to these characters, and you get to understand the kind of the journey that they go on while they make their choices. Yeah,
and let's talk about your cast. I don't know how you guys got this many, everybody in this, but it's kind of a who's who, man.
It really is, and to do this show, you really need that caliber of a cast. It's written for a quartet. We decided to go for a double quartet. We've doubled the cast here, so we have 8 people, and they just have to be top-notch, top to bottom. Each and every one of them gets exposed in so many different ways. This music is incredibly difficult. It's technically demanding. It's artistically demanding. And like I said, it's not a consistent plot line throughout. They only get 3, 4, 5 minutes to tell that story and to sell you on a character. And so each and every choice they make, musical choices, each and every acting choice, every facial expression, it's really intentional. And so they have to be top-notch at what they do. And the 8 people we have, they do that.
Let's run through that a little bit. Keenan Wilson.
Yes.
Noelle Huntley.
Yes.
Let's see, Jordan Mitchell's, right? Kira, of course.
Yeah, Kira Ringo.
And a few Augustana kids, right?
So we've got Caden Miklos, who's currently a student at Augie. Katie Griswold, who is a recent graduate.
Man.
And we have, who else? We went out of order here.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you.
No, you're fine. We have Evan Galliardo. And so just a phenomenal group, and Noah Hill also.
Noah Hill.
Yeah, Noah Hill.
Yes, of course.
And so all 8 of them they've done tons of stuff in the area. They've done the broadest range of straight plays and musicals and operas and contemporary musical theater. They've done it all, and they sound phenomenal. And that variety of skill set is so important too, because this show is not in one style. Each and every song for a different story, you get a different musical style. I mean, we're doing jazz, we're doing hip hop, we're doing R&B, we're doing 19th century German Weimar art songs. I mean, it's all across the board.
You're doing a little bit, and the band, it's live music. That's important.
Live music, yes.
That is great.
And Jason Robert Brown is known for doing these just really dense and lush scores. And so we have a beautiful string section, which so often it gets left out in productions of this. And it was important to me to bring that in. We have just luscious, gorgeous strings that add so much depth and color. A rock solid rhythm section that really throws down the beat there. I'm back there playing some congas and adding some colors as well. And then Rob Elfline is playing the piano book for us. And holy smokes. Jason Robert Brown is Jason Robert Brown, those piano books, they scare me. I see those books and I run and hide. He's doing a magnificent, monstrous job with that.
And I hear Pete Latondra is
he's playing drums for us
That's
back there.
exciting, man.
And that is a groove machine back there. You gotta have it because you're not going to sell the style otherwise.
No, not at all. So, the Black Box seems like a perfect fit for this kind of show, too.
Absolutely. So I mentioned that each and every choice the actors have to make is super intentional. Every facial expression, every little vocal nuance, and every little option they take. And when you have a huge venue, you don't get to see that as an audience member. But Black Box, you get really up close and personal. So when the actors really kind of bring themselves into their own space, all those little shades and nuances that they decide to do, you really get to experience it as an audience member. So, you only get 3 or 4 or 5 minutes to sell that character and that story, but because you can make all those little choices, the audience can connect really quickly and really powerfully.
Yeah, there's no place to hide for anybody in that space. And do you have a favorite moment?
Oh man,
I know it's hard to do.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of favorite moments in there, but the one that really sticks out to me is the very last number, Hear My Song. It is one of the few moments that we bring out all 8 of the cast to sing together, and they connect so well. They relate so well. Most of them had never really worked with each other, or they'd worked with 1 or 2 of them.
Sure.
So in a very short period of time, we've had to get them to gel musically and socially and emotionally and artistically, and they've done such a great job of that. I really like to think about this production as sort of a love letter to musical theater. What it can be at its very best, the very best of community building, the best of storytelling, and that number really showcases what we've done with this production.
I love that. Well, and people can get tickets at the website, theblackboxtheater.com, right?
Blackboxtheater.com. Check us out on social media too. We're posting tons of behind the scene fun stuff, and please come out and see it because you're not going to want to miss what we're putting out there tonight.
I'm hoping to get there on Sunday. So hey man, always a pleasure to meet you, and thanks for coming in, man.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
For more information, you can check out theblackboxtheater.com. We'll have all those details posted at ourquadcities.com.